Wow.
We are back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with a brand new look as promised. Instigating with Clarkey and Drury here on Rogers TV, YouTube, all your favorite podcast apps. I'm Ryan Drury. That is Clarkey. And man, Clarkey, new look. Who dis?
New look. Who dis? Big props to Amanda coming up with this logo. We got to make sure we mention Amanda.
We will clear this up. It was Amanda.
We don't have to clear anything up. I didn't correct you last week. I thought about it. I might have texted you something, but on the show, everything was fine. Just fine.
Everything was fine. And thank you, Amanda.
Yeah,
right?
And today,
yes,
near the end of the show, you got to hang on. Remember what I said I was going to do today?
There's a big announcement coming from Clarkey.
Big announcement. That's right.
And it has to do with his future NFL fandom. Okay. And on that note, because football time, it's football time. The NFL is back. We are very excited. And when we want to talk about football, there's a guy we love to turn to. You've seen this guy's work on Homestand. He's going to be writing this year Canucks content for Fansided. You can find this dude all over the sports media landscape here. And we love chatting football with our friend, our buddy, Justin Pooni, ladies and gentlemen. Justin, welcome to the new show.
Thanks. What an intro, guys. Love the music in the in the beginning. It was great.
The new look. Yeah.
New look. I love it. Love it. Big time now. I appreciate it to be on now.
4 years, we're big time now. Yeah.
Love it.
4 years, new paint job. Here we go. And man, when you talk about new paint jobs, there's a bunch of them across the NFL. And we're going to talk about that. There's a lot to dig into. We happen to be recording this on opening night, Thursday, Eagles and Cowboys. And I want to start there with the Eagles. We might as well just address the defending champs right away. They blew the doors off of the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And I'm genuinely curious, after watching Jalen Hurts come back and win a Super Bowl after losing it, the historic year that Saquon Barkley had. He's on the cover of Madden, all this feel-good stuff with Philly. How do you feel about the defending champs, and what kind of percentage would you put realistically on them repeating as champs?
Well, I mean, other than the Chiefs and the Patriots, it's been a while, right? Those are only two teams that really come to mind to repeat as Super Bowl champions. I think in the NFL, and we'll dive deeper into it, there's about 5 teams that are legitimate Super Bowl contenders. There's the Eagles, of course, the defending Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs, the Lions, the Ravens, and the Bills. You'll note that majority of all those teams are in the AFC. So out of the NFC, I think Philly is the class of the conference. I think they have, if not the best quarterback, the second best quarterback in the NFC. They have the best wide receiver tandem in the NFC. They have the best offensive line in the NFC. They have the best defensive lineman, who did get ejected before the first play of the game, in Jalen Carter. I like the Philadelphia Eagles a lot. I think, yes, people have to say what they will about Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts or A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They have elite playmakers on every level of the game. And I know it's not one on paper, but on paper, this team is still stacked, and they have the winning pedigree. And I love the demeanor of Jalen Hurts. I don't know if you guys saw over the offseason, did not put on his Super Bowl ring, said he's already on to the next one. That's kind of been the mentality at Eagles training camp. They're already on to this year. And I think, look, to put a percentage chance on it, 10%, right? They have as good a shot of anybody. So I'll give them a 10% chance to win the Super Bowl this year.
Well, and they still got that nasty defense too. Clarkey, what are your thoughts on Philly? Like, do you like?
Well, first of all, I want to dive into this.
Yes,
Jalen Carter spitting on Prescott 6 seconds into the game. Like, what could possibly go through a guy's head? There's cameras everywhere now. You're not going to get away with it. And
he's getting suspended, right, Justin? Like,
he should.
He probably will. Now the league might come back and say, well, he pretty much got suspended for the opening game because he didn't play a snap.
I get it.
Look, Jalen Carter, there's a reason he dropped in the draft that year. He was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick when he came out of Georgia, right? Bad mistakes behind the wheel of a car cost him his draft stock. And now a bad decision on opening night cost him to be out there with his team that they so desperately need him with, right? There's no doubt about it that Jalen Carter is extremely, extremely talented. He should be this generation's version of Aaron Donald. He's that dominant, that talented. He hasn't put it together mentally yet. And that's going to be the topic of dominating everything. Should the Eagles lose this game, right? Is if they lose this game, it's going to fall on the shoulders of Jalen Carter. And he's been a guy that's been able to hide behind the Brandon Grahams, the Darius Slays, the veterans that the Eagles have. Now he's looked like to be a leader now in his year, right? Which is not, and to be looked like that in your first, the first game of the season and do that, not a good look at all.
It's not a good look. And if I was Sirianni, I don't know if I would just probably blow up at him at halftime. Like, it's just inexcusable. It's just unbelievable. Anyway.
It's the worst thing you could do. Worst thing you could do is spit on somebody. Basically, it essentially means that they treat you, worse than dirt, right? So you're not even dirt. So
and you know what ticks me off too is then he goes off the field smiling and shaking his head like, I can't believe. Like, anyway, whatever.
Yeah,
I just think it's a bad look for the league and a bad look for the team.
A super bad look for the team. And like, we're talking about a team that's defending a Super Bowl championship too. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be about the team, always, obviously, but it's supposed to certainly be about the team, tonight as they open their season as defending champions. And I mean, he made it all about himself, and that's a young man that's going to learn you would hope he learns some lessons here, Justin. I want to dive in because, I mean, with the season kicking off, it's time for lots of predictions, and we did this with you last year. And I'm curious, as we dig in here, you look back on a season where there was a lot of divisiveness with the AP writers and the NFL voters. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen split a lot of voters. Now, Lamar, of course, MVP, Josh getting AP Player of the Year. Like, it was a strange thing to see. I'm curious this year who you feel good about in terms of what you're looking at for an MVP performance this year. Who sticks out to you?
It's easy to go with any one of Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar, right? I think Lamar should have won MVP last year. I think it was kind of that thing where, hey, we finally got to give Josh Allen his MVP. If you look at the stats, Lamar should have been the MVP. He was first team All-Pro, right? Which should mean that you are the MVP. In terms of this year, I think if the Bengals make the playoffs with that sad sack of a defense and Burrow stays healthy and puts up those numbers that he did last year, I think you kind of got to give it to him, because you look at the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, they all have way better rosters. If the Bengals can be competitive and touch 10 wins in the AFC and Joe Burrow puts up, 4,300, 4,500 yards, 40 plus touchdown passes, keeps the interceptions low, and the Bengals make the playoffs with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, you have to give him the MVP. That is kind of to use the betting term, a bit chalky because he is up there. A guy that kind of a dark horse / sleeper pick that I would put on is Baker Mayfield in Tampa. Baker the last 2 years has been one of the best quarterbacks, one of the best stories in the NFL. He's got a great offense in Tampa Bay, and I think that is something that they're gonna put up a lot of points, put up a lot of yards, and I believe that Baker Mayfield, if he replicates the season and the Bucks do well, he will be an MVP favorite to me, and I think a guy that should get a lot of MVP votes because he's not the same guy in Cleveland. He's a mature Baker Mayfield. He's got great weapons. He puts up numbers. And, hey, I believe in the Bake Show.
I do too. I like Baker Mayfield a lot. And I mean, would Cleveland ever like to have him back? No disrespect to Joey Couch's Flacco, but man, Baker Mayfield has turned into a heck of a stud. Clarkey, what are your thoughts on that? Because,
I wanted to ask with Josh Allen and just where you think he'll be this year, reigning MVP. Can he repeat? Obviously,
I had that backwards. He was MVP. Yeah. Lamar was the AP player of the year.
Yes.
I had that backwards.
Look, I think Josh Allen is who he is. He's going to be top 3, top 4 quarterback. He's going to be in the MVP conversation. Do I think he's going to repeat? God, it'll take a Herculean effort, I think. He's going to have to do something very big. I think the biggest reason why he won MVP last year was he cut down on the turnovers, which plagued him for many, many years, right? He kept the ball clean last year. And the Bills kind of not surprised everybody, but you can rewind the tape back to last when we talked. Everybody kind of thought the Bills were going to take a step back, a rebuilding or retools type of year, right? They had to cut all that dead cap money. They lost Diggs. And once again, they won the AFC East. I think Allen will be in the discussion. I don't think he's going to repeat, though. I think defenses are going to hone in on him, and they're going to make sure that he doesn't eat up into many yards with his legs. And they just paid James Cook a whole lot of money, so they're going to have to feed him quite a bit, too.
They better be feeding him. I took him in my fantasy draft last night. I want to ask you, too, obviously, Josh Allen, obviously been there. I agree. You'll remember I took Joe Burrow to win MVP last year. It didn't pan out. I mean, if not for the seasons that Allen and Lamar had, he would have been certainly at the top of a lot of people's lists. And I agree with your take on him. If he can drag that team and not single-handedly, because the offense and the defense in Cincy are mortal opposites. It's incredible to drop off in talent there. But I like Brown in the backfield there. I like the mix of weapons that he has. T. Higgins, of course, Jamar Chase, who I took first overall, and I think a lot of people did. And I'll move right into the next discussion here. And I like Burrow. I will say I have a dark horse as well. Jordan Love, if things pop out. Hey, there's one thing Matt LaFleur can do, it's coach offense, and they have some extremely talented players in Green Bay to work with. And if Love's healthy, I like him as a dark horse, long shot bet. I bring up Jamar Chase. Let's talk about offensive player of the year candidates. I think if he repeats what he did last year, maybe even potentially with the talent he has, God willing, with health, builds on it. I think that he would be a guy that I would potentially be putting into that conversation. If all things pop off, this guy could have a Randy Moss type of year where he catches 19, 20 tuds, maybe even more, eclipse potentially 2,000 yards. If things click with Joey B and they've got the ball a lot, I think that Jamar Chase could be in for a heck of a year.
1,000% agree with you there, Ryan. I think Jamar Chase, I think Justin Jefferson and him are 1A, 1B. I think Jamar Chase going into this year is 1A. He's the number one guy right now in the National Football League as a wide receiver. I know a lot of people are picking Saquon to win Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, how could you not? The guy had 2,000 yards last year. I do think, I don't know, something in the back of my head keeps on pulling me to Brock Bowers somehow, some way. A tight end. I know a tight end doesn't get a whole lot of shine when it comes to, and this is a kind of a maybe a hot take or whatever, but I just think with Geno Smith, and Geno played for my Seahawks last year, they have Ashton Genty, but who the hell else are the Raiders going to throw the ball to? Amari Cooper just retired right before the season started with the Raiders. You can go with Saquon, you can go with Chase, but what's the fun in that? I think Brock Bowers has a chance to put up historical numbers as a tight end. I think we could see the first tight end to maybe hit the 20 touchdown mark. Maybe. I think that guy's an absolute electric player. He's an absolute beast. And when they get into that red zone, they're going to be looking for Brock Bowers. I'm going to go Brock Bowers. I think Brock Bowers sets some records for a tight end, and he has a historic season. He's got a guy now he can actually throw the ball in Geno Smith, and they're going to be loading the box up for Ashton Genty. And that's going to leave Brock Bowers open. So I'm going to go Brock Bowers to win Offensive Player of the Year.
I did not see that coming. I like that's a pick, Clarkey, that we refer to in this business as a ballsy pick. That's ballsy. I like that. And Bowers, the kid has all the talent in the world. I mean, you've heard people saying he's the second coming of Gronk. And if that's true, holy cow. And imagine if he was healthier than Gronk too. I like that a lot. And he does have a guy that is going to be capable of feeding him the ball. Geno Smith is one of the most underrated players in the league still. Like, that dude is not a great quarterback. He's a very good quarterback. And with the talent that Bowers has and the size advantage that he has, I mean, you can double team the guy and he's still going to win matchups. I like that a lot. Like, that's a hell of a.
Maybe we should pool some money together and put some.
Put money on a future.
Put a little instigating bet on that one.
I genuinely wonder what the odds are on something like that. I bet you it's probably plus 1,500, if not more. I don't know that a lot of people would be floating Bowers out there for something like this, but the logic that Mr. Pooni, and that's why we have this guy on.
That's right.
The logic is very sound. I mean, I like that a lot. And I think Vegas, on that note, could potentially be a dark horse playoff team. I know that sounds crazy because we're talking about the Raiders. If everything rolls their way and Gianti is as advertised, Bowers takes that step, Geno is Geno and brings what he can, I don't know why it would be impossible for that team to be a wild card team. I'm not saying win the division or something, but geez, stranger things have happened.
They got good structure now. Tom Brady, part of the ownership group. You got Pete Carroll. Right? That's not a bad foundation to build an organization off of.
It is not. And, you talk about foundations when we talk about football in particular, the phrase defense wins championships never rings more true. And that brings us to Defensive Player of the Year. I know a lot of people will be loving Micah Parsons. A lot fewer people will be loving him, though, after some of this injury reports, and he might need an epidural to play. And hey, as much as I love Micah Parsons, and I will bring him and the Green Bay Packers up again later, I don't think he would be getting my vote. I'm curious to hear who you maybe think could be a shoe-in for Defensive Player of the Year, because I got a guy in mind that I think we might be on the same wavelength here. Let's see.
You can go TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons. I'm going to go with a guy who not a lot of people talk about at all. For a team that not a lot of people talk about, the Houston Texans. I'm going to go Will Anderson Jr. I think the Houston Texans under DeMeco Ryans they've had a great defense, a very good defense the last couple of years. I think Will Anderson is the reason he was drafted, I think, in the top 5. The guy's an absolute monster on the edge. He's a guy that I think could be coming into his own with the TJ Watts and the Myles Garrett's getting a little bit older and stuff like that. A guy like Will Anderson Jr. who can get off the edge and get a whole bunch of sacks. And here's the other thing too. We know Defensive Player of the Year, kind of like MVP. It's more of a defensive end award, right? The most sacks generally wins. I get it. Pat Surtain won last year. Fully deserved, best cornerback in football. But he plays in a division where he's got Trevor Lawrence, Danny Dimes, and rookie Cam Ward in his division he's going to be playing against. He can feast on those quarterbacks, pile up a whole bunch of sacks this year. I think Will Anderson Jr., again, not the most, the chalkiest of chalking, the mainstream pick. I like Will Anderson Jr. to win Defensive Player of the Year this year. And I think the Houston Texans are going to surprise a lot of teams with their play offensively and defensively.
Justin Pooni, you are a mind reader. I really appreciate it. And I'm on the same train. I think Anderson Jr. could do outrageous things. Another guy, much like what we're talking about with Brock Bowers on the offensive side of the ball, a guy that, again, gets overlooked a lot because of the franchise he plays for. I don't think CJ Stroud can be that bad again. I think he comes more back the other way and that team gets way, way better. And I also think that he could be a guy that would be a really sneaky good pick, probably at really good value like Bowers would be on the offensive side. I will say too, though, that Patrick Surtain and that Denver defense, they're going to be flying all over the place. I picked them in my fantasy draft. But if somebody can unseat Surtain, because that guy can do stuff that not a lot of players can, I also am on the Anderson Jr. train. Clarkey, Look, I know that soon you're going to be making a big reveal, and Justin knows this. You're going to be making a big reveal later.
Justin,
about
so
who
here's
you're
the deal,
going to
Justin.
support.
I've never had an NFL team. I've never
Right, I
cheered
remember
for
this,
one.
yes.
He's
right?
a CFL
So
guy.
I promised last week that I would decide on my team for the year. So I sort of have. Well,
what
I'm
is
hanging on a
that
cliff
mean?
right now. I'm hanging on a cliff right now.
Well,
Sort of.
I've narrowed it down.
Are you watching them lose right now? Is that what's
No.
happening? Sort of.
I've narrowed it down to two. One AFC, one NFC. So I'm going to cheer
Okay.
for two teams this year.
Okay.
You're gonna cheer for two teams.
One AFC, one NFC.
That's
Okay,
that's not
this
the
is a
worst
new
thing I've heard.
development.
That's not the worst thing I've heard.
Exactly.
This is a new development, and then
Yeah.
maybe whoever performs better, that's who you'll settle on. Because I'm a one-team guy here.
It could be, it could be the Super Bowl matchup. My two teams.
Oh,
That's all I'll say.
I big.
I'm going to be a
cliffhanger.
front
Stick
runner. I'm
around.
not going to pick a crappy team. You know
No,
that.
yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't. You don't do that. You got to get in on the ground floor of something.
How about that
fun.
Argo win on Monday too? By the way.
Well, they needed
Couldn't tell
something
you.
to go their way.
Haven't watched the ounce of the CFL in maybe 15
That's
years.
okay. It was an unbelievable finish. That's all I will say.
And I'm genuinely curious, like what that league's gonna do. They've been Luke Wilson's been going off on the
know.
league.
I have seen that. It's
And he's taking heat for it, but he's also getting a lot of people on his bandwagon, certainly as well. Like there are a lot of people that are really liking some of the takes that he has. And I got to be honest, Clarkey, like I know you're a big CFL head. I kind of agree with some of the stuff he's saying. Quickly, one last award prediction, and it's always an interesting one too. Rookie of the year. We've already brought up a couple names. I mean, Justin, would it be safe to say that you're pushing your chips in with Ashton Gianti?
I was actually going to pick Shedeur Sanders. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not going to go money on Shedeur on this one.
Now that's
no. I think it's going to be Ashton Genty. I think Pete Carroll. What's his bread and butter? Running the ball. All those years in Seattle, USC, running the ball. That's
sometimes though he doesn't run the ball.
Yeah, that's the second time I heard that today. So the NFL must be back. No, Ashton Genty. He's gonna get a whole lot of touches, whole lot of carries. He's just the guy who almost broke barrier. He rushed for over 2,000 yards last year in college for a Boise State team that made the college football playoffs. And Boise State's not a big program at all. So I do think that Ashton Genty will probably win a rookie of the year. That's kind of a safe pick, but also I just don't trust Cam Ward. And this draft was just kind of weak. It was kind of a blah draft, right? I think we're all hoping that Arch Manning picks it up and we can have some hype for next year's draft, because this year's draft wasn't the best. We're talking about a 5th round quarterback most of the time in Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, which was an interesting development for sure. I'm curious as well, just who you maybe think are you named off the big 5 contenders, and I think most people would agree with that 5-pack. And it's an AFC heavy league right now. I'm curious if there's any dark horse teams that you've got that you have circled that you think, hey, like I brought up Vegas earlier, like if everything goes right for them. Is there a team like that sticks out to you that's like, hey, people aren't really giving these guys many flowers and they could do some damage?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I really like the Bucs a lot. I think that I don't want to give away my Super Bowl pick.
No,
but I do think the Bucs can make a whole lot of noise. That's my NFC dark horse. An AFC dark horse team. It was the Chargers, but then Rashawn Slater did get hurt, so I kind of dumped them by the wayside. So my clear-cut dark horse team would be the Bucs to make the Super Bowl. I think, hey, I'd love to see Baker, Mike Evans, and Tampa. Think about it like this: they've won the division every year, even though ever since Brady's been gone too. So Baker, the trains kept on going even after Brady left with Baker Mayfield. And I think it's another year. They have a good offensive line with Tristan Wirfs. They have Vita Vea on the defensive line. They have Antoine Winfield in safety. They have, We mentioned their wide receivers. They have Bucky Irving, a great dual threat back. So I do like the Bucks a lot as a team in that rung below those elite contenders. I think the Bucks could cause some damage.
I agree with that. I will tell you that my two dark horses, if we're in the spirit of throwing them out there like that, it feels strange to call them a dark horse because of the talent that is there, but they kind of stubbed their toe last year. They are the youngest team in football. People are going to discover this year. I'm a big Green Bay Packers believer.
Oh,
and
boy.
I really feel like the Packers, and it's not just, this was before Micah Parsons showed up in town. I already felt like this team could really chug a lug a little bit. And I think that the Packers could be a really interesting dark horse, not a high-end contender, a dark horse. I'm pairing them in there for a reason. AFC, I mean, based on what we saw, certainly in the latter half of the season, it's got to be the Denver Broncos. I mean, that defense, I know you're wincing, but if Bo Nix is the Bo Nix from about week 7 onward this year, Cortland Sutton is healthy and that defense plays the way that we know they can. Dark horse, not a shoo-in. Dark horse though. Like Justin, would you be shocked if they're a 10-7 wild card?
No, I wouldn't be. But also, would it shock you if Bo Nix turns into Mac Jones 2.0?
No, it wouldn't shock me. I'd be a little more surprised though. I mean, Mac. Nobody knows better than me the debacle that occurred there. I would be I'd be more surprised if it happened to him.
And I think with Bo, with Sean Payton, that wouldn't fall that bad. But I also think it helped that, there wasn't a lot of tape on him last year in terms of NFL tape, right? I think defenses will now be a lot more honed in on what Bo Nix can do in that Sean Payton system. I also just, that's my opinion. I could be wrong. I just think that I like the Raiders' chances of making the playoffs more than the Broncos.
Okay.
Just me.
An infusion of talent for sure. So Clarkey, do you want to?
I want to dive in a little bit before we go anywhere on this Micah Parsons situation.
Yes.
Can anyone say to Mr. Jones, "You're senile. It's time to pack it in"?
No. I don't know. Did you guys get a chance to watch that Netflix documentary?
No, I haven't.
I've seen bits and pieces of it, and it's Jerry's world, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I watched it from episode 1 to episode 8. I gained a whole lot of hella respect for Jerry Jones. You know what? He's living the dream. What can I say? I think all of us would love to own a sports team and be the GM.
For sure.
But he won 3
Super Bowls a long time ago now, Justin. So my question would be, whose dream is he living? Because I think some Cowboys fans would argue he's living some of their nightmares.
So that's the thing. You mentioned it. They won early Super Bowls, and that was in his head that I've done this already. It's easy, It's easy. I can rebuild a Super Bowl team. It's been 30 years, and they haven't done that. But in turn, you look at Jerry Jones. He's built the most successful, most valuable sports franchise, not in North America, the entire world. You go to any corner of the world and you say the Dallas Cowboys, people will know who the Dallas Cowboys are. He has the best stadium, the most, most notarized team, that talked about team. We're talking about it right now. Nobody's ever going to kick Jerry Jones out. Jerry Jones is going to be like Al Davis. He is going to run the Dallas Cowboys until he can no longer run it. And then his kids will take over. And then only time will tell if, his kids want to continue to run the team. Now, Stephen Jones does work in the front office as well. So I suspect for Cowboy fans, for a long time, there's going to be a Jones making the shots and calling the shots for the Dallas Cowboys for a very, very long time.
I don't think any of us can question Jerry's passion. I certainly don't fault him. Like I'd say this, Clarkey, how often that I go off the rails talking about how crap some of these baseball owners are. I'd rather have Jerry Jones owning my team than 70% of Major League Baseball's owners.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say that the guy doesn't care. He cares, I would say, almost more than any other owner. I'm not going to say that he doesn't have fantastic business acumen. He clearly does. I mean, the Cowboys have not been relevant in terms of winning for a long time, but they continue to just print money, and they are the most talked about team for good reason. I wonder if Jerry has lost his ability to adequately construct a roster for modern day football. And I just don't
they won
look
12
at his
games, 3 straight years.
Yes. And then they cannot get it done in the playoffs. So I don't know. Hey, it is a very similar, conundrum to another team that wears blue and white that we talk about on the show a lot. So, hey, now, but I'm not saying anything untrue, am I? We should move into what we think this is always one of the most fun things to predict. The Super Bowl. We've mentioned, some contenders we like, obviously, that everybody knows about. We've mentioned some dark horses, but we got to get down to the nitty gritty here. And Clarkey, I don't know if you want to take center stage here and reveal to us your
want me to
teams here.
Is it timed already? Okay, you got to give me a sec. You guys just chat amongst yourselves, and I'll be back in a second.
Well, Clarkey will be back in a second. Justin,
what do you think, by the way? What do you think? Do you have any predictions?
Well, I don't want to make a prediction. I want you to surprise us genuinely, okay? I will chat here with Justin. Now, I want you're the guest, Justin, so I'd like to give you the floor here. Super Bowl, Taylor Swift at halftime. Who's going to be playing in front of Miss Swift?
Won't be Travis
Kelce.
Soon it won't be her future husband. They will not be in the Super Bowl.
Okay, hot take already.
Will not be the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. I'm gonna actually give you the finalists of each conference and who they defeat. They get to the Super Bowl.
I like that.
So I'm gonna go with, in the NFC, the Detroit Lions defeating the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game. It's going to be an NFC North Championship game at Ford Field in Detroit, and Jared Goff and the Lions will get past Micah Parsons, Jordan Love, and the Green Bay Packers to make it to the Super Bowl, and they will face off against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, who will host Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game and beat them this time and get over the hump. And for Super Bowl, it's Super Bowl 60, right?
I believe so.
Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara, California, Levi's Stadium. The Baltimore Ravens will win the Super Bowl, cementing Lamar Jackson as the best quarterback on planet Earth, as he will pass Patrick Mahomes as the best quarterback on planet Earth, because he'll finally have captured the big one, the Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens will be my Super Bowl champions this year.
That is an unbelievable prediction. And I mean, like, look, we know who the contenders are, and I don't think this result would shock anybody, but I love the specificity. I'm going to have to try and follow suit. I'm not going to waste time with my NFC side. I completely agree with exactly everything you said. I have the Detroit Lions advancing to the Super Bowl over the Green Bay Packers, who we already know I'm a big believer in this year. I think they're going to really surprise some people. I think that the Lions, there's just too much talent on both sides of the ball. Hutch is going to be healthy again. Aiden Hutch, everybody likes to talk about that bang offense that they have. That defense is no joke either. They're going to get to the Super Bowl, but they are going to face, I can't believe I'm saying this, the Buffalo Bills. They are going to face the Buffalo Bills, who will take down Lamar and the Ravens in the AFC Championship game. It'll be a field goals. Like, I'm talking a 2.5 point spread. They'll just squeak through, last minute field goal, maybe even some overtime. You never know. But I have the Bills finally sliding through, and God bless those poor Buffalo Bills, because I think they're going to lose in that Super Bowl to Sonic Knuckles and Jared Goff.
Wow.
And the Detroit Lions, ladies and gentlemen, turn the clock back 15 years and tell somebody that the Lions are going to win a Super Bowl. But guess what? They are. I think it'll be a 30-27 final, and Jahmyr Gibbs will be your Super Bowl MVP with 3 touchdowns.
A hat trick in the big game, eh? I like that. I thought I did good, Ryan. You one up me there. That was good.
I had to. This is my show.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that a lot. I think Detroit, everybody's talking about losing Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, the coordinators that are now head coaches, but those pieces are still there. And Dan Campbell knows he creates such a great culture. And if it is Buffalo and Detroit, you might as well call it the GTA Bowl, because everybody in the GTA is going to be pledging their allegiance to either Detroit or Buffalo, right?
Absolutely. Well, speaking of pledging allegiances, Christopher Clark, who has been teasing this for a couple weeks.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, brother.
I just heard your predictions, boys.
Okay, the stage is yours. Take it away.
Wow.
Oh,
a little Hawaiian blue.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
What is happening?
There we go.
The shade.
You know my NFC team.
One more time.
What?
What is going on
Oh,
here?
good, man.
Wow. I'll say this.
Yeah, the hat's a little small.
When Chris
It won't go down on my head.
When Chris wants to make an announcement about something, he goes full bore. We got a full-scale Halloween outfit here, brother.
Halloween, it's the Super Bowl champs right here.
You are ready for trick-or-treating, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And I feel sort of obligated to give my AFC team as well.
Well,
I don't have the paraphernalia today, but I'll bring it next week.
Okay.
Justin Pooni, you picked my 2 teams to meet in the Super Bowl.
Great minds think alike.
The Ravens and the Lions are my 2 teams this year. Collision course to the Super Bowl.
Nice.
I do like Lamar Jackson, I must say. So here we go.
He doesn't. He's so entertaining.
I feel good about my selection.
So what's going to happen here then? Like, are you going to roll for the rest of time with whoever wins this Super Bowl matchup?
I don't know. That's too much.
Because
we're living on a week-to-week basis right now.
It's a week-to-week thing. Okay,
it is.
Because
I'm in Detroit territory here. Like, I'm only like an hour away, right? Like, I'm in Grand Bend. We're close to the border. We're an hour away from Sarnia. There's a lot of Lions fans around here. Okay. I'll tell you
There's
that
a lot of Lions fans.
They do like watch parties in London for the Lions all the time.
On that note, and Chris sent me this. I want to point out that NFL fan bases in Canada, you're seeing a little bit of it there. Obviously, Kansas City gets a large chunk of fandom. And obviously the Raiders, I'm surprised that the Raiders have so much support up north. Large swath of Green Bay. In the lower part of the graphic, you can also see a lot
Minnesota.
Of Seahawks, a lot of Minnesota.
Vikings, Northern Ontario, like Thunder Bay area.
There's a sliver of Kansas City in the prairies, and then it jumps over into the Maritimes.
I sent
Quebec.
You that. We should have sized it right.
Well, look, it's a little big.
Bills and Lions are down in southwestern Ontario, though.
Yeah. Well,
Well, yeah, we know that this is heavy Bills, and look, I understand that. I will say, though, that I'm a little disappointed. Like, when did they take this? In the last 5 years? Because I remember seeing graphics that were nonstop Patriots, especially in Ontario.
What have you done for me lately, Ryan? That's what it's all about.
Well, don't say that, right?
Well,
so what we can say.
Well, look. I want to ask you about that, Justin, because there's a couple teams as we kind of wrap up our predictions here. And I love the Super Bowl predictions. I love Clarkey. Can we just quickly solo on Clarkey here? Look at this guy. He
is a little tight. It's a
the
fitted
hat is a problem. The hat's
hat is
real
a problem.
for you, dude. We're gonna get you a nicer hat. I'm gonna send you a nice, crisp new era, and you're gonna be taken care of. I gotta say to you, buddy, I'm disappointed that you did not jump. Okay, well, I'll get
7
you
1/4. Obviously,
one.
I need a little bigger.
7.38 probably.
Yeah,
you need a 7.38 real bad over there, buddy. Now, I am disappointed, Clarkey, quickly that you did not jump. Well, because
I told you last week.
You dragged me into your CFL boat, your fan boat. I jumped on the boatman, and you saw fit to not hop in the Patriots canoe.
Dude,
and I'm a
Patriots
little offended.
have no hope. There's no hope.
Relax.
There's no hope with the Patriots.
Justin, I wanted to ask you about that. Drake May, what are we thinking?
No, so first thing with the graphic is, look, I'm a product of the graphic, born in Vancouver. We're at Seahawks country there. That's
for sure.
That's what we live and breathe is the Seahawks. In terms of the Patriots, hey, look, I think the Patriots, they're going to be battling for a playoff spot, I think, by the end of the year. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. But would it shock me if they win anywhere from 7 to 9 games this year? Absolutely not. I like Drake May a lot. I think getting in Mike Vrabel, he is going to do wonders that Gerard Mayo could only wish he could do. And hey, at least you don't have Bill Belichick coaching your team anymore. What a train wreck that guy is now.
Hang on. I can't do this. I can't do the Bill disrespect. He's taking over a program that's not exactly a powerhouse.
No,
it was a disaster. Okay. The Horned Frogs, the TCU Horned Frogs came in there and horned it up. They got all over Uncle Bill.
There was touchdowns where guys from Carolina weren't even in the screen.
Give Uncle Bill a little bit of time. He's got to build
time.
He's got
give him 10 years. He'll be fine.
Look, it's not like Uncle Bill took over Alabama. You know, he's not going down there and rolling tide. Well, he's not. Like, we're talking about the greatest coach in NFL history here. Like, let's not kick his ass on the way out the door, right? Like, let's be a little respectful.
He's not in the NFL.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's just be a little respectful of Uncle Bill. But I agree. Like, I'd be thrilled if the Patriots won 8 or 9 games. I'm not expecting them. They're a B or C tier.
Yeah, so why would I pick them?
Well, because there's the culture.
No. You jumped on the Argos. The Argos win the Grey Cup.
Well, but listen here, Clarkey. If there's one guy on this panel right now, alongside myself and the fantastic Justin Pooni, who we really appreciate all of his insight here today, if there's one guy on this panel that loves clinging to the past and winning in the past, it is you.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Well,
really?
Justin, let's ask him how many cups his Canucks have won. You can't cling to the past. There's no past.
This guy's given us lots of his time. Buddy. Great insight tonight, and you're just stomping on the poor guy.
It's okay. Hey,
this is not.
Let's say this:
Mitch is gone.
Canucks have a better chance of winning a cup in the next 10 years than the Leafs.
Oh, I like that. Now we're getting some heat happening here.
I don't think.
The hat just got a little tighter.
Let's just say this: I know it's not a hockey podcast, but it's not going to surprise me next year.
Not today.
It's not going to surprise me if Mitch puts up a whole boatload of points in the playoffs for the Golden Knights this year. And everybody's like, that being out of that spotlight in Toronto does wonders for him, probably. Yeah. I'm saying Mitch Marner will be a different player in Vegas, and I think it's going to do him wonders.
Maybe. Connor McDavid will be a different player in Toronto next year, too.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
David is not.
Well, let's just let it play out. Let's let it play out.
The hat is extremely tight now.
What you're saying?
The hat is extremely tight.
Let's just let things play out. Let's see what happens.
Justin, I do want to ask you before we let you go, realistically, like, I'm going to set Mitch Marner's point total this year at 102.5. Are you taking the over or the under on that?
If Jack Eichel is healthy all year and plays 75 plus games, I'm taking the over.
Yep.
I think Marner and Eichel, but that system in Vegas and how they play the game, yeah, I could see him put up 100 points in Toronto, right? And Vegas is a much deeper team than the Leafs have ever been, right? I can see it happening, right? The Pacific Division is not the greatest division out there in the NHL. I can see Mitch getting 105 points. It would not surprise me at all at the end of in April. We're looking and we're like, holy shit, Mitch Marner has, right behind Draisaitl McDavid in points. It would not surprise me at all. It would not shock me one bit.
Well, it's going to be interesting. And Clarkey, for every point Mitch Marner scores, Clarkey's going to be gripping his couch a little tighter. So
I predict there'll be a scandal regarding Mitch and his dad in Las Vegas before he gets 100 points. That's what
Is he going to be setting up an illegal tree planting business?
Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. I'm telling you right now.
The table deal?
I don't know if that kind of extreme thing's going to happen. Since you brought it up, Clarkey, I got to ask you, Justin, like, what the hell is going on with Kawhi Leonard? Like, he should have just stayed.
You know what? Well, it came out that Larry Tannenbaum was found $15 million worth of endorsements for him. Right?
Yeah, but that was real endorsements with real companies.
That's true.
There is a difference.
I think it's just I guarantee you this happens in every professional sports league, and this is the first one where they got caught. Right? I guarantee you. You think John Tavares, who just took a bunch of less money, they didn't slide. Rogers. It's a big company. They got a whole lot of people there. You don't think Tavares got a little bit of endorsement money on this?
That's real endorsing. It's not.
Yeah, that is.
And he doesn't have to show up to work.
Fair. But I think it's just it's sports as a business.
What they needed to do though, right? Because I'm so confused by this, just because you look at Steve Ballmer, he is not an idiot.
No,
it would have been very simple. Let's not even talk about just having Kawhi show up somewhere for a day to take some pictures or whatever next to some trees with gardening gloves on. Photoshop the guy in there, man.
Do something.
Get a fake ad or something with him on a poster next to a shrub, brother.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Steve?
The Clippers have been the Clippers, right? They've been a laughing stock, not just the NBA and pro sports for decades, right? And to get Kawhi Leonard, who at that time was the biggest basketball star in the world, right? He had just carried the Raptors to an NBA title. He could have had the whole country of Canada in the palm of his hands and decided to go to California. And, he blackmailed the Clippers and the Lakers and the Raptors against one another to get the highest bidder. And he got exactly what he wanted. He has the best schedule. He works hybrid. He doesn't have to work at all half the time. And he collects all his money.
Him and Uncle Dennis. Him and Uncle Dennis rolling around in his 1997 Suburban, brother. It's, I don't know, man. That's one of the weirdest situations I've seen in a long time. Justin, it's so great to catch up with you, brother. Like I mentioned earlier, Justin's going to be doing some great writing for Fansided, covering his beloved Canucks this year. That's going to be a lot of fun to check out. Plug whatever else you're up to, Justin, where obviously people can see where they can follow you. What else is up in the world of Justin Pooni?
Make sure you, like you said, biggest thing right now is subscribe to, or make sure you go to the Canuck Way. Just type that on Google. It's the Canucks site affiliated with Fansided. Just dropped an article today talking about Evander Kane and how you can book it, that he's going to score 30 plus this year for the Vancouver Canucks. I think Evander Kane in a contract year, playing with a redeemed Elias Pettersson, will score 30 plus this year. So that's the biggest thing. Yeah, you can follow me on all my socials, Justin Pooni _ Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. For a lot of more Canucks content and some fun stuff down the pipeline, guys. Like I said, it's always been a pleasure talking football. Hopefully we talk about some hockey and Mitch Marner for the Art Ross. Can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah, can't wait.
Absolutely,
can't wait,
buddy. Well, we're going to be checking in with you again, especially when hockey season gets started. Really appreciate your time, brother. Justin Pooni, thanks so much for doing this, my friend.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely. There's our buddy Justin Pooni, one of the best, and some interesting predictions. And I feel like we're all feeling good about the Detroit Lions. And I don't know if
sounds
that's
like
good or bad news.
I am.
You're
Man, oh man, my team's going to the Super Bowl.
You're feeling so good, you're slamming your head into a hat that's 3 sizes too small. You're like the Grinch right now. His heart grew 3 sizes that day, and your head is exploding out of that hat. I can't take you seriously with that thing on, brother. I want to.
But can we take a break?
We don't need to take a break. What we can do, though.
Yeah, because I got to run somewhere for 1 second.
I can let you do that, my friend.
You go full screen now.
Producer
Ryan,
I'm in control.
Yeah.
I'm in control, and Clarkey is going to take a run here. I need to say too that obviously everybody's really fired up about Detroit, and I think that it's for good reason. You know, the Lions, as Justin Pooni pointed out, they have fantastic coaching. Yes, they lost their 2 coordinators, but I think that the coaching that's still available to them is very, very solid. They've done a great job there. I mean, Coach Dan doing his thing. They're biting kneecaps. They're still doing that, but they're doing it for real. Remember a couple years ago, everybody was laughing at him for saying that. They're doing it. I mean, it's incredible to consider that Detroit is a legitimate contender. And I just love the Sonic and Knuckles punch of Jammer Gibbs and Montgomery. I just think that it would be a really good story for the NFL as a whole if a team like Detroit, Clarkey's Detroit Lions, won the Super Bowl. I think it would be fantastic for them to do. Oh my God, how much money did you spend?
Hey, here's the
on
deal.
all this
I have to
stuff,
thank
dude?
Scott Varley from McLean's Source for Sports in Exeter for hooking me up with all this paraphernalia. I must say it's his. I do have to return it.
Okay.
He hooked me up. So it's
I was concerned for a minute. I'm like, did Clarkey spend $400?
No. So thank you to Scott for letting me use his stuff. I went in there.
Scott, thank you.
Yeah. And there we go. I have hoodie. I have a jersey on. Do you know whose jersey this is, by the way?
15 off the top of my head. Oh, Golden Tate. Hey, all right.
There you go.
Golden Tate the third.
So anyway, I will be getting my own hat and maybe a t-shirt.
You should.
My daughter Amanda, you know, the graphic designer for the show, went and bought a t-shirt when I was in her presence, and she knew I was looking for one. And she put it on, and I didn't notice for about 5 hours. And I said, "Why didn't you buy me one?" Anyway.
Can we address that really quickly? I know we were joking briefly at the start of the show. The graphic designer. Now, I, as people have gotten used to this, our second week back, our second week on our new home on Rogers TV. We're very excited about that.
Yeah.
I changed all of our social media, new look, who this, we're in there, new logo. And I tweet out and share on Instagram, really excited about our new look.
The story.
Yeah.
And you thanked Amanda, which was perfect.
No, I thanked Christopher Clark.
Oh, yeah.
Because Clarkey told me, hey, I designed the logo. And I went, wow, that's amazing.
When you get to my age, you just think you did stuff and you didn't do it. So
okay, dude,
that's
you're
what
not
happened.
old enough to be saying stuff like that.
It was Amanda. She did it. I did the other stuff, like this rink look that we have now.
Yes.
All that kind of thing. But Amanda did. And we have like another one that says instigating. It just says instigating. Do you have that logo? Can you put that one on now or no?
It says
instigating.
Yes.
That would be nice right along the top. It would look really cool.
Yes, we will incorporate that.
I took that from her design.
Okay. So, look, if there's one thing that we want to do on here, it's credit people properly.
That's correct.
For their work.
Correct. I hope people like our new look.
I love it. I've gotten a lot of compliments about it.
Very fresh and crisp.
It is fresh, it's crisp, and I'm
we
really
just have to
appreciative
get
of
when
it.
we send graphics, we have to make sure they're sized properly from now on. And I didn't know.
And
so we can size stuff easily.
And this is part of the fun of HD television. You got to just size some stuff properly, brother. And that's all right.
HD came out in 2004.
Not like it is today, man.
No.
I want to ask, okay, I have to ask you though, like, what specifically was it that steered you in the direction of the Detroit Lions? I don't really care about the Baltimore side of things because you're
a couple
regaled.
of things. I really wanted to pick a team that not a lot of people cheer for. Like, I wanted to be sort of out on my own. And that's what kept attracting me to Baltimore, because there's not a lot of Baltimore Raven fans around here. Put it that way.
No,
okay? There's some.
Yeah, you're right.
There's some. We have Matt Bell at HMP, and he's a Raven fan. And I said, "You're a Ravens fan. Okay, bring me like a jersey or a hat. You must have something, Matt." You know what he brought me? He brought me a bracelet that you needed a microscope to see. And I said, "You want me to wear this on the air and have people actually see it?" Anyway, thanks, Matt, for the thought. So that's one thing that brought me to Baltimore, and I do love Lamar Jackson. Whenever I played NFL on Xbox, I always was the Ravens, because all I knew how to do is do a quarterback run, and he would always because I wasn't the best gamer, as you know. So I would just do a quarterback run every time. Lamar Jackson would just run. He would run about 120 rushes a game when I played. So anyway, I have liked the Ravens for a long time. So I like the Ravens. But the Lions, a lot of my friends around here do like the Lions. We are close to Detroit here.
We are. It's right there.
You
go to a game.
Well, I've looked at ticket prices, and I'm not spending that money.
They're not cheap. They're
$400 or $500.
Well, they're a premier team now. I mean, you can see them for $40 10 years ago, but like they're a power. They're a good team, man.
And people were trying to influence me. Had a friend, I call him Bronco. I don't even know his real name. Sorry, Thomas, I do. He wanted me to pick the Broncos.
That's who Kate cheers for. She's a Broncos fan.
Well, I'm not.
It's a real problem.
I'm not, I'm sure it is.
It's a real problem.
I'm sure it is. So I'm not picking the Broncos.
Would you say though, and this is sound reasoning, I like it. I like the individuality.
And
of
course not the Bills. I'm an anti-Bills guy. But go ahead.
Okay, he's anti-Bills. Yeah. Would you say then quickly that your Lamar Jackson quarterback sneak play on Madden is your poke check from NHL?
Yeah, basically, yes. Okay. Get a penalty every time I do it. Yes, you are correct. Yeah. I don't have gaming systems anymore, Ryan. I'm done with the gaming systems. Now I'm into a golf.
Really? You're retiring?
I sold my Xbox. It's gone. I don't have it anymore. Yeah.
I beat you that badly all the time at NHL that you had to quit.
I have better things to do than to play those things. I did have it in my mind a few weeks ago to get another one, but I got a golf simulator to use.
Yes, you did.
And you helped me pick it up, and we are going to do a show from the golf sim this year.
We absolutely will. When you get that thing set up, we are going to be raging in there. And hey, the Ryder Cup's around the corner. Like it's going to be
Doigie's
awesome.
coming on next week.
Ian Doig, our golf analyst, our golf expert, longtime pro golfer. He's going to be heading over. Well, I'll let him reveal what he's going to be doing pretty soon. Really exciting stuff as he continues to pile up his trophy cabinet with championships here. He's going to be doing something really exciting. We're going to talk to him. Ryder Cup around the corner. Football is back. Hockey's back. Junior hockey, the Guelph Storm are kicking off soon. I'm going to be back in the booth. It's going to be a
Jays
lot
are
of
still
fun.
in first place.
Jays are still in first place, brother. Some exciting stuff happening in sports right now, and you come here to hear about it right here on Instagame with Clarkey and Drury. Thanks to our buddy Justin Pooni. Remember, especially if you're a Canucks fan, but even if you're not, he's a great writer, great dude. Check out his stuff on Fansided on the Canucks Wave website, and it's going to be an unbelievable year of football. I'm feeling pretty good. Clarkey and his Lions are going to rage all the way to a Super Bowl. You heard it here first. That's Clarkey. I'm Ryan Drury. Remember, you can find our show on all your favorite podcast apps, our YouTube channel. Still give us a follow on social media at InstigatingPod, and watch the show with our new friends on Rogers TV. We will be back next week with more instigating. How about that?